Hello, it's Charles Darwin here, and I'm at the Galapagos Islands. So here's to study evolution and natural selection. Oh look, it's a giant finch from the Galapagos. Look, it's the tortoise. I'm here at the Galapagos Islands to find evidence for my theory of evolution involving natural selection. Look at this majestic creature. Look at its shell. Look at these different types of finches. As you can see at the bottom, they can be found on different parts of the islands of the Galapagos. And they've evolved to survive in these different environments because they all offer different things and different types of food, and they have to adjust themselves so they can survive. So let's say there's nuts. They need to have like a bigger beak to crush those nuts. Through my evidence and research here on the Galapagos Island, I have created my theory of evolution, and this is involving natural selection and survival of the fittest. Throughout all the organisms, there are always going to be ones that are weak, and then there's ones that are going to be strong. The weak are going to die off, but the strong ones are going to be able to mate and produce offspring that also are able to, withstand the challenges of the environment. But they're not going to all be equal. Some might be weak, some might be strong, and again, this cycle naturally continues. Then there's the survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest, having the strongest survive, and this all comes together in how, evolution occurs, how we will adapt to our environment in order to survive, and we will evolve to survive. Hello, I'm Carlos Linus, and I am the father of taxonomy. Taxonomy is the classification of the wide variety of organisms in our world. And I've separated this type of organization system into different sections. So I have, my kingdom, my phylum, my class, order, family, genus, species, and domain.
Paleontology is the study of fossils, which was created by Georges Cuvier. Paleontology is very important in science because it helps Charles Darwin develop his theory of evolution. There is lots of evidence for evolution. One form of evidence is natural selection, which we talked about with Charles Darwin, and then survival of the fittest. Fittest is where the weak organisms die off and the strong live. And then one very important type of evidence is fossil records. The fossil records, it organizes all the fossils that we have found, from oldest being at the bottom and then youngest being at the top, due to the sedimentary layers of stratum, which means that these fossils are much older than these because they're on the bottom. And then another type of evidence is homology. And one specific part of homology are structures. And homologous structures are different structures of organisms that have the same function but different structures, such as the arms of a human, the leg of a cat, the fin of a whale, and the wing of a bat. And then analogous structures are structures that serve the same function but have different makeups, such as the wings of a bird and bat and bee.
Evolution of populations. With different types of populations, there are little changes in them, such as microevolution. Microevolution is the differences in the frequencies of alleles. That's only within the organisms themselves. Then there's changes between the different offspring, and they have different traits compared to everyone else's. So, gene drift, that'd be factors that affect the allele frequency at random. So it's by chance, there's not a system where it just does it randomly, and this decreases genetic variation. We also have genofold, where there's exchange of genetic information between an organism in the same population, which doesn't allow for much genetic variation as well. And then with geographical isolation, let's say there's this one species of snake, and then all of a sudden there's some event that occurs that causes them to be separated. And let's say a river starts passing right in the middle, and on one side of it they had trees, and the snakes had the ability to climb up trees and gather food, and they had the ability to use their environment, such as the trees, to survive. But let's say on the other side that split them, there aren't any trees. Over time, the snakes that doesn't have any trees are going to lose the ability to climb and do the things that involve trees, and they're not going to need it to survive anymore. They're going to adapt, and they're going to survive by evolving. Like Charles Darwin had said, taxonomy is the classification of the wide variety of organisms on Earth. He had them in different sections, but he had domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Alright, but in domain we have 3 separate sections. We have subsections, basically, bacteria, eukarya, and archaea. And then in kingdom, we have 6 of those subsections. We have Animalia, Plantae, Archaeobacteria, Protista, Fungi, and Eubacteria. And the guy who made this system was Carolus Linnaeus. He had the binomial nomenclature, which is basically the genus and the species.
Phylogeny is the study of the evolutionary history of a type of organism. And the phylogeny of various species are organized in a phylogenetic tree. And this tree is a branching tree that shows the evolutionary relationships. This is an example of a phylogenetic tree. You see on the right-hand side, going up and down, are the labels of what each different branch means. So there's order, family, genus, and species. And then the tree is labeled throughout with the separate names. And what these branches means is that they're all carnivores. And then the leopard is those, and then the skunk and otter are these, and then the wolf and dog are those.
Origin of species. So all species were originated from other species. They all intertwine and connect. So let's say the average bird. It is linked to, the woodpecker and the toucan. They're all linked together because they're different species, but they're all birds. They all have similar qualities, but they do have their own unique qualities at the same time. So we have this kind of equation. So microevolution involving genetic and alleles, information, all that, plus our macroevolution will equal new species, allowing us to have a wide variety of species in the world. And also we have the biological species concept, that species are populations that can interbreed within each other and produce fertile offspring that can actually survive and reproduce themselves and create this population of new species. All of these factors come together and they are speciation, which allows us to have a diverse range of organisms on our Earth, but also they have links to each other, so it's really just a diverse range of species.
So in conclusion to our driving statement, which was how evolution and the modern world mix, we believe and we've come to the conclusion that evolution and the modern world mix together every day, even though we don't clearly see the changes this causes. Evolution takes place every day, even though we can't see it right now. We'll be able to see it in many decades in the organisms that are surrounding us.
It's tortoise. Oh.
Believe that evolution takes place every day, even though we can't see the events that this creates.